Okay, so if you want a little bit more help with this, we're still on this analyzing oxidation reduction sheet. We're going to do questions 3 and 4. Now these get a little bit more complex. There's some of the more complex that you're going to do. Now we're still going to start. Are there any free elements? Are there any elements that are not bonded to something else? Take a look. You've got iron oxide, carbon monoxide, iron, and carbon dioxide. This iron isn't bonded to anything else, which means iron will change. Okay? So we know that that is going to change. And then we've got oxygen, carbon, oxygen, carbon, oxygen. So we've got some other options here. So we don't know what the other thing is. Now iron, let's finish iron. Iron can be a +2 or +3. So as we know, we can go like that. We don't know what our iron is. Our oxygen is going to be a -2. This is from yesterday. 2x minus 6 equals 0. X will be a +3. Okay. So Fe goes from a +3 to a 0. If we are going from a +3 to a 0, we are going to be reduced. Now I realize that metals are losers, however, that's when they're alone. These metals were these metals were oxidized because they started solo. This iron did not start solo. This iron can be reduced. And now we have to figure out what the other compound or what the other element is, so we have to look at the other compounds. When we look at the periodic table, it can give us some hints. So let's take a look. These are going to be our main ones up here. Carbon can be +2, +4, or -4. Oxygen can be a -2. I would start with carbon and see what it is, because our rule for oxygen is it's a -2 unless a peroxide. Our main example of peroxide is going to be a hydrogen peroxide. And we don't have that. There are other peroxides. Or bonded with fluorine, and we don't have fluorine in here. So I'm going to focus on this carbon. So CO, we've got one of each. Carbon, we don't know. Oxygen's going to be -2. X minus 2 is 0, so this carbon is going to be a +2. And carbon dioxide, still don't know carbon. X minus 4 equals 0, so X is going to be a +4. So carbon did change. Carbon's going from a +2 to a +4. We are being oxidized. We're losing electrons. Now, if I find one, do I have to find the other? Depends on the way the question is phrased, which you'll take a look at shortly. Okay, this next one is a little bit much. There's a lot going on, which means we're still going to start with, are there any free elements? And yes, sulfur is a free element. Okay, which means I'm going to focus on this change right here. We've got sulfur dioxide. If I want to, I can check over here. Sulfur has multiple oxidation states. So X minus 4 equals 0. So sulfur is going to be a +4. So sulfur goes from a 0 to a +4, which we'll learn how to balance these another day, because these charges aren't balanced, but we will learn. Okay, so we are losing electrons because we got more positive, so sulfur goes here. Now what we have left is potassium. I'm just going to list them off. Chromium, oxygen, hydrogen, oxygen, Okay, so I'm going to check my periodic table. Potassium only has one possible oxidation state, so chances are not potassium because it's always going to be +1. Chromium, multiple oxidation states. Hydrogen can have multiple oxidation states. It's going to be that -1 if it's bonded just with these. So if we had, say, potassium hydride, KH, it would be a minus. But we don't. We don't have it bonded solely with our binary. Oxygen, -2. So it looks like chromium is our best bet here. So let's take a look. KCrO7. I've got 2, write that 7 down low. Got a +1, X, and a -2. 2 plus 2x minus 14, as I'm starting to lose my voice here. Excuse me. 2x minus 12 equals 0. Keep going. 2x equals 12. This chromium is going to be a +6. Could I go back and double check that? Definitely. 2 plus 2 times 6, so 2 plus 12 is 14, minus 14 equals 0. So let's double check the other one. We've got Cr2O3, 2x minus 6 equals 0, 2x equals 6, so x is going to be a +3. So chromium went from a +6 to a +3, therefore it is reduced. Okay, one more tidbit here. This is hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so check your rules on that.